Hello, back on track with Mirror Song today. And there's been a pretty big push in the last few days. We've got the vocals recorded, and we might have just nailed it, actually. You'll hear those shortly. And I've also recorded the bass line in its entirety. With a couple of passes, I did a full deconstruction on this bass line last time. And since then, I took that. I found it really useful, actually, to go back and watch my own video and make notes on what I'd said, because it was just nicely disciplined. So, and I've followed most of my advice. The stuff I didn't like, I've mostly thrown away, and a few bits and bobs that have been tweaked and twiddled. The entire thing's been re-recorded. So a new bass line, brand new vocal line, not heard before. So we don't need the guide vocal anymore. And let's get on with it. This is the song As Things Stand.
Gazing through a haze of wine, he wonders, will I ever learn to turn the tide? And the silence that sounds like 1,000 sighs is the only reply he can seem to find. Every time I let my dreams take to the skies, they bear the weight of cowards and their lies, who curl their lips and hurl their battle cries. So moments and lives just tumble and die. If only I could learn to hide from this fever. All this time she knows that no one's calling. Still she dares to whisper this could be the night. But a foolish girl reflects back in the unforgiving light. Just one time she wants to feel her heart run wild with love's reveal. Maybe next time. On the river rolls with no direction, lapping at the corners of his mind. When a sudden resolve in our hero's eye turns the tables, and down falls the stormy sky. Reaching for his heart, he steps into the night with breathless new abandon at his side. He smiles at half-forgotten silly rhymes. These moments we find like tricks of the mind. They come and go, ebb and
I'm really proud of this one. I think it's great. I think this is the best song I've written so far. And what about that vocal performance? Absolutely spine-chillingly good. So I'm going to really give it everything I've got to get it as good as I possibly can. Interestingly, when we were doing the vocal line last night, actually, we were doing some retakes, and I'd left a previous vocal line there, and Pauline was singing over the top of it. And when she actually sang against herself, it was, oh my god, it's mind blowing. I'm actually just considering recording multiple copies of the entire vocal and just seeing what it's like to double the entire thing to get that kind of chorusy effect. I don't know whether or not it would be too much, but interesting experiments. It's never occurred to me before, and we always do multiple takes when we're recording, but I pick the best one and throw the others away, and I think that's probably a mistake. I should probably start to pick the best two and actually split them out onto 2 tracks, and it just gives me an extra option then. Wherever in the song it's appropriate to double the vocals note for note, then I've got that option too. So that was a bit of a level up realisation. It kind of seems so obvious looking back on it. Of course, that's what I should be doing. Guitar hasn't changed at all. That's completely bedded in now, and because it's organic and everything else is mapping to it, that ain't changing anytime soon. The bass line was recorded to it. In fact, the bass line was recorded before the vocals to really lock that down. I played against a guide vocal to give me some kind of stability on the pitched notes, but other than that, the bass line and guitar then form the foundation upon which Pauline sang. Harmonies, definitely. I haven't given a moment's thought to them. We only finished the vocals last night and I processed them this morning. But there will definitely be a place for harmonies. There's a gap here where I'll probably put a guitar solo. I haven't given any thought to that either. I've tried a few attempts at getting drums onto this thing, and all of them have been absolutely miserable failures. So the search continues to find the drum sound that I want. I just don't know what kind of sound I want on this song. And of course, because it's an organic tempo track, it's really difficult to find a rhythm that can actually accommodate that's sparse enough to not have, a really definitive pattern that can very easily be identified when it gets longer or shorter, because some of the lengths of the bars, it's a while since we've looked at the tempo track, but some of the tempo switches are relatively severe. I haven't changed it a bit since I recorded the guitar line, and everything else goes to it, and that has consequences. I'm really struggling to find a rhythm for it, but I'll get there probably. I'm kind of 70% sure I want a rhythm at all, but I don't know where that's going to come from. And that might be it. I don't know where keyboards lie on this song. I've not had any inspiration to try, but I suppose due diligence demands that I at least go through the motions of trying to see if I can find some sort of nice keyboard line for it. The song feels kind of full. It feels reasonably harmonically accomplished already. The guitar line is quite rich because it's a plucked kind of chord thing where on lots of occasions I'm plucking more than one string at a time, and it gives it more of a rounded sound, which means that entire frequency range in the middle where the keyboards like to live is kind of occupied. So anyway, I wanted to get this down as a snapshot of the song where we are right now. This is the first time you've heard the vocals, so that I've just started. You could see that I've done some processing on them, and I was actually still twiddling live as it was playing then, but for the most part I'm reasonably happy with the vocal sound. I'll put this down now for a couple of days and come back to it and again do the whole fresh ear thing, because I've done so much work on it with the bass line. Recorded the bass line a few days ago and then the vocal line on top. It's been really busy, so I definitely need to give it some space to get some kind of perspective on what's going to be required next. So that's where Mirror Song stands at the moment. Really happy with it, and hope you are too. If you are, please consider subscribing. If you hit notifications, you'll find out when the next episode comes out, and hope to see you then. Thanks very much for watching.